widdz here, and in today's video I thought it was time to visit one of my, if not the most hated gun for myself personally. And that mainly ties to PvP, but even in PvE back in the day when it was a bit popular, I just did not like it. And the gun, as you can see, it is Pestilence. So in this video I will be showcasing what I think is the go-to build for Pestilence, and I will be showing you guys some different versions of the build, how you can adjust it to your likings. So if we start off looking at the gun, we got the Pestilence. And if we take a look at the unique thing with the gun, we have the Plague of the Outcast. So basically hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. And this can stack up to 50 times, which makes it so you can hit insane numbers. Over 2 million a tick, even solo. And when an enemy dies, this buff will transfer to the next one, as long as they are within 25 meters. So it does remind me a bit about the Turmoil knee pad in that sense, because as long as you have something to shoot at, you will build up the debuff. And when NPCs are sitting in cover, it can just transfer to that one, and you don't have to play hide and seek cover-based shooter. It just like deals with it, same as Turmoil right there. So in that sense, I do like it a lot. When it comes to minor attributes on LMGs, you usually want to go critical hit chance, which does have a value of 9.5. But in this case, I choose to go damage to armor simply for the reason to max out the Pestilence debuff, because it's not going to get affected by crit. But if you just want to have the most damage, then I will probably suggest you to go critical hit chance. But the way this build is built, it will work great with damage to armor. And in case you're wondering how to get the Pestilence, I would just recommend to do target loot in Countdown for LMGs. Other than that, it drops super frequently in the Dark Zone, which I know most people don't like, but that is a great way to get it. And as you can see, my Pestilence looks a bit different, and that's because I have the skin. I did make a YouTube short about that, so you could check that out. You can currently buy that in the store though. If we actually take a look at the gear pieces, and we start with the backbone of the build, which is gonna be 3 pieces of Lengmo. We will be getting 30% LMG damage on the free piece, and then skill health and explosive resistance. And we are using the named Lengmo backbone, the backpack that does come with perfectly unstoppable. Killing an enemy increases the total weapon damage by 7% for 15 seconds, and this stacks up to 5, meaning you will get 35% weapon damage, and that is a lot of damage just for killing NPCs. And if you are playing solo, this is extremely easy to keep up, especially in combination with Pestilence. Even in group, you shouldn't have that much issues, as long as you're focusing on like killing easier NPCs. So super good talent, and the fact that it gives you 7% instead of 5 is just pretty nuts. Like, that's 10% more than the normal one. Another backbone of the build will be the Contractor Gloves. That comes with 10% LMG damage. On top of that, also the unique name thing with it is the damage to armor, so 8% of that. And that will impact the debuff from the Pestilence a lot, because you will not be increasing the debuff with crit or crit chance or headshot damage. It will just be damage to armor, weapon damage, and those kind of stats. Both Backbone and Contractor Gloves are pretty easy to farm. You can get them in the Light Zone. In terms of stats priority, you can do this a little bit however you want, but I choose to mainly go red on everything. You see I have 1 blue, which we will get to soon. Keep in mind though, Lengmo does come with blue as a normal stat. So to get them to work, you need to get double crit and then roll the blue core to red core. Since you can farm Backbone, it is going to be a bit easier because the talent is set. But yeah, when it comes to stats prior, you can have a few blues. And I mean, in particular, this patch, blues are good. But it is a pretty good build, so you sit in the back, full red. Then we go to the knee pads, and there are like 2 options here. We have the Sawyer knee pads, which are pretty damn good. So first of all, you cannot be staggered by explosions, which is amazing when it comes to legendary. And then you have this increase in total weapon damage, which is super good. So you get 3% per each second you're not moving, and this stacks up to 10. And that will give you 30%. And as long as you don't move, you will get 30% all the time. But if you move a millimeter, you will trigger it, and then you will lose it after 10 seconds. And you gotta restart filling up the buff. As you can see right there, I moved, and you can see it charges down. If you really want to max this out, you basically can't use your keyboard or controller. You can only use like the mouse on PC and move that way. You can shoulder swap, And that's kind of about it. See, right now we keep it up all the time. If I, for some reason, like just press A once, slightly move it, and it will get triggered. So that is the downside. But it's a lot of damage though, and if you can find a good spot to just sit at, it's good. It charges up, and then you move a little bit, and you see it, or it starts going down. So that is the kind of downside. If you want to use it to its fully, you have to be completely still. But the strength is still really strong though, just because of not being able to get staggered. And this will be the most damage if you can use this, if you can use the knee pads efficient. However though, for my personal playstyle, I would just swap those out and go Fox Spray knee pads for the additional 8% damage to target out of cover, since that will impact the pestilence debuff and give a lot of damage. And then lastly, we have the chest piece, which you also can swap around a bit. And in this case, I'm using just a Seska with the crit chance. Not gonna impact the pestilence debuff, but it will give us a lot of crit chance, so we can just do damage overall. And yeah, obliterate on that one. So this is how the version I like the most looks like. But we are gonna go through some changes you can do. But this right here is 3-piece Lingmo. We got 1-piece Seska, Contractor Gloves, and Sawyer's knee pads. And in terms of stats priority, we are still gonna prioritize crit, right? So crit chance and critical hit damage. Every slot you can get it on. We will not be maxing it out though, because I mean main focus is the debuff. So if we look at pieces such as Contractor Gloves, right, we will be losing 1 crit, but we will get the damage to armor instead. Try to get a 1-to-2 ratio in critical hit chance and critical hit damage, meaning like 50 critical hit chance and 100 critical hit damage. In case you want to go for like the most damage you can though for the debuff, you can just use the perfect glass cannon that comes on the sacrifice. It gives you 30% amp damage, but you do take 60% more damage. With a build like this though, you're sitting all the way in the back, and as long as you have the teammates for it, you should be able to do that. But of course, you gotta make sure that your positioning is really, really good. So probably not something I would recommend for most guys, but just in case you want to know how to get the most damage on the debuff. Take a look at the skills. I like to use Revive Hive. Makes a lot of sense for using an LMG, especially when you're sitting like far back in comparison to my normal playstyle. You should be able to get this off pretty easily. Other than that, I think Decoy is pretty nice to run with this as well. Or another great option is the Precision Smart Cover. It will give you 15% weapon handling and of course the damage to target out of cover damage. And I mean, one of the downsides with Pestilence is the reload speed. It takes 4.13 seconds with the current build to reload, which is a lot of time spending reloading. And in terms of specialization, there's nothing really new here. We are using the gunner specialization. We have the faster reload every third time. We have the faster reload every third reload. Armor kit, good one. Armor on kill, of course, the 10%. 5% more rate of fire on kill. And then, of course, make sure you get the LMG damage in the tree. And actually, I forgot to mention skill-wise, the Banshee Pulse is pretty nice if you're playing solo. So you get that one too. I will be uploading a solo legendary run with this build. And the run was kind of showcasing you how you can just do it super simple and just trying to stay back. Kind of trying to like replicate how it would look for somebody maybe trying to clear legendary for the first time. Like you don't know too much about the room. You're just staying all the way in the back. Just have good positioning. And you're spraying away with the Pestilence. And it was pretty damn easy. And sure, it took longer than usual. But I think if you look at that video and try this build, you should be able to clear solo legendary eventually for the first time. Before we end the video though, I thought I would just go through all the pieces because that is a heavily requested thing in the comments. Which personally, I don't think there's any need for you guys to look at every single piece. Because in all the videos, I do tell you the stats priority and like what you need to achieve. So I mean, I don't know why you want to see the pieces. Like it does not matter where you put the crit chance or the crit damage. Like if you put a crit damage mod here or a crit chance mod on the other one, it does not matter. I personally just want to teach you guys how you build it, and you should not just go here and copy paste it, because then you will never learn and you will be forever out of knowledge. But here is the stats. With that said though, I'm still live on twitch.tv/widdz with the last days on the subathon. It can go up all the way to Tuesday, and that's also when the Twitch drops. will end. So in case you haven't gotten all the Twitch drops yet, you can get those on my stream. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video or live on my stream at twitch.tv/widdz.